my podcast. But yeah, no, I need to check myself. I need to be meaner to dudes. I just need to like because they can handle it. You know, I think it's because I think I'm like empathetic, but I'm not as empathetic as I tell myself I'm empathetic, but I'm not that empathetic. Like I do genuinely care, but like not that much, you know? Post on my Instagram story, ask me a question.
Welcome to my podcast. You're listening to another episode of Leave Me Alone. I am your host, Alaina Bamfield. Got a big, huge episode for you guys this week. Can't wait to share it. Sorry, I have onion rings caught in my throat. I had Culver's before this podcast, so if you hear that bubbling up, ignore it. All right? I love Culver's. It's one of my favorite places to go. But I think it is contributing to the mouth zits that I'm having a problem with right now. I think it's either a combination of eating, greasy burgers and just letting that shit marinate on my face. It's a mixture between that and going to open mics and resting the mic on my chin. I like to rest it right here next to my mouth when I talk on stage. So, I get other people's germs on my skin, and then it bubbles up into pus and it's disgusting. So if you have any skin care tips, let me know, please. That's not exactly how I wanted to start the podcast, but that's fine. I've noticed 2022, I'm a little bit concerned. People are rock climbing like crazy. Like, where did this come from? Everyone on my Instagram is like spending their Saturday mornings like at an indoor rock climbing gym. And like, I'm not going to say I don't support it, but it feels like a weird, like, this is like, it's like yoga for dude bros. Like, I swear to God, like, anyone that, like, anyone that has a defiance complex is, like, rock climbing right now. And it's like, fine, whatever, get your anger out, get your frustrations out where it doesn't matter. But I'm also, like, looking at it and I'm like, go climb a real fucking rock. You know? Like, it's just, I don't know. Try that horizontal left arm swing push out in the wild. You know what I mean? Like, those little rock climbing shoes are real cute, but I don't know. I guess do whatever you want. I don't know. It just reminds me of, like, a fucking adult. Reminds me of an adult playground. Like, at the school I went to growing up in elementary school, one of our gyms had a giant rock climbing wall like that. It just reminds me of, like, a gymnasium for people with body hair, and it's gross. You won't catch me there. I'll tell you that right now. I don't have any upper body strength, and you will not catch me at the rock climbing gym because it's embarrassing. But speaking of adult playgrounds, I want to touch on a music festival that is being launched by the same people that put on the Astroworld production. And if you are not up to date on that, I need you to be more up to date. I'll do a brief recap for you. Travis Scott put on a music festival called Astroworld, and I think like 10 people died and like 60 something. Some crazy number got injured. It was basically a disaster. We don't need to talk about it for too long, but they are putting on another production. And it's called the When We Were Young production. And I looked up the tickets. It's $350 to go to this fucking music festival. It's 1 day long in Las Vegas, and there are 66 fucking bands playing. Like, there's, like, your classic, like, fucking, like, emo kid shit, you know? I almost just said My 600 Pound Life. I don't know why. God, my clothes are stuck in my head. My Chemical Romance, shit like that, you know? But I saw a bunch of people on my Facebook saying that they were going to go. And I'm just worried because I'm like, these people, like, I looked it up, right? Like, there is no way. I was going to title this episode End Live Nation 2022, but I've come to the conclusion, it's been brought to my attention that they are, like, a giant company now. Like, they pretty much have monopolized the fucking, like, concert and festival game as far as, putting on productions and selling tickets for things like that. In 2010, they actually merged with Ticketmaster, so they're kind of unbeatable now. But I guess in closing on the When We Were Young festival is that it's literally like, it's just like, you're gonna die. At the very worst, you get trampled. And at the very best, you get to see about 30 seconds of performances from each of these bands. And pay off Live Nation's fucking lawsuit debt. I think I saw something that said, don't quote me on this, okay? But I saw something that said after the Astroworld thing, between Travis Scott, Drake, Apple, and Live Nation, there's like $2 billion in lawsuits, which is like double the worth of Kylie Jenner. So no wonder she's skating out on that relationship. Good work, Kris Jenner. I like the way she plays the game. You really can't hate her for it. Imagine if you could take 10% of all your children's earnings. But I don't know if that's how much she gets. On to the next absurd thing. Okay, so this is something I've been wanting to talk about. I don't usually like to get invested in celebrity couples, right? Because it's stupid. A lot of it's for promotional stuff. And I think this one might be too. But I am completely infatuated with the Machine Gun Kelly, Megan Fox, the whole thing. How they became lovers, their recent engagement, the weird shit that they just do. Like that they're willing to do out in public. So they got engaged, and we're gonna read the post that Megan Fox. She's a really weird, eclectic girl. There's something about her that seems intelligent, but then you get what I'm saying. All right, so we're gonna read this fucking post. And I was thinking about doing a Megan Fox voice, but it makes me uncomfortable, so I'm just gonna read it to you guys. So Megan Fox posted a picture of her at MGK, and she said, "In July of 2020, we sat under this banyan tree. We asked for magic. We were oblivious to the pain we would face together in such a short, frenetic period of time, unaware of the work and sacrifices the relationship would require from us, but intoxicated off of the love and the karma. Somehow, a year and a half later, having walked through hell together and having laughed more than I ever imagined possible, he asked me to marry him. And just as in every lifetime before this one, as in every lifetime that will follow it, I said yes. ... And then we drank each other's blood." What? That is real. Okay, it says, and then we drank each other's blood. And I don't know. See, this is the thing, is where I'm like, do they do that, right? Because if they do, totally weird, but not out of the realm of possibility for famous people. Like, I think Angelina Jolie and one of her fucking husbands, one of the people she married, they kept each other's hemoglobin in like a vial around their neck. So like, it's not like the craziest thing that's ever been heard of from Hollywood, but like when you look at them, you're like, yeah, you guys would drink blood. Like each other specifically. I don't know why, but I just feel like they're also in a cult, if that makes any sense. I also saw a conspiracy theory that MGK and Pete Davidson are sleeping with all of the women of the Illuminati to try and figure out what happened to Pete Davidson's dad on 9/11, and I think that's a really fun conspiracy. So if I can find a link for that, I will link it in the description below, because whoever the creator is of that conspiracy theory was a fun one for me. Should have prepared that one. But then right now TikTok's blowing up because not only did they say that, they drink each other's blood and shit, but the ring that MGK got for Megan Fox, and this, I'll read this to you first, and then I'll tell you what people are saying online, because this is not what people are saying online, right? So Machine Gun Kelly posts a picture of the ring, and it'll be here somewhere for you guys to see. So in quotations, he said, "Yes, in this life and every life," end quote. "Beneath the same branches we fell in love, I brought her back to ask her to marry me. I know tradition is one ring, but I designed it with Stephen Webster to be two. The emerald, her birthstone, and the diamond, my birthstone, set on two magnetic bands of thorns that draw together as two halves of the same soul, forming the obscure heart that is our love." So it's a pretty ring, whatever, but people on TikTok are saying that this ring was designed to hurt when Megan Fox takes it off. And now I have not been able to find anything on the internet about that. So I feel like TikTok is lying to me. So fuck you, TikTok. It looks like a regular ring. It doesn't look like it's going to hurt when she takes it off, but we will see if an interview comes out about that. But overall, I guess congratulations to them, I mean, they seem to be a pretty happy couple. But I mean, I don't know. The blood drinking thing was crazy, and if it's a joke, then like I guess it's a pretty self-aware like, I guess, I don't know, if I was famous like that, I would probably like say some shit like that too, especially if people were like already thinking that I was like a weird eclectic person or whatever. I would definitely like fuck with everyone else because it would be fun. You know? Like, I don't know. I would do that shit. This is a fucking video of them interacting just because I think it's really fun to watch these two interact because it they don't even seem like real people. Like, if anyone's an alien walking amongst us, it's these two people. Okay, listen to this fucking interview. Listen to this interview.
I'll tell you where we first met.
Where do we first meet?
At a GQ party.
Facts. Oh, actually, tell that story.
Right. You said to me,
You smell like weed.
and I said, I am weed.
And then you vanished. Hi, I'm Megan Fox.
Hi, I'm Colson Baker.
Is that your real name?
Sometimes.
And this is the GQ Couple Quiz. Okay. How many tattoos do I have? Name them out while it's best to go by.
Your ankle, back of your neck, the Nietzsche. You have it back. You got ours. You got my nickname. And then the one I just gave you. And then the one right below the one I gave you, which is the Yin Yang.
That one doesn't count.
Yeah,
no, that one doesn't
yeah,
count.
yeah,
My
yeah.
other rib cage is also tattooed.
That's what I said.
You only said Nietzsche in my back.
We'll count the other rib cage too. That's 9, right?
The bonus, if you want to redeem yourself, is what does my back tattoo say? The one on my
Butterflies
shoulder.
have gilded wings.
Close. You're in the vicinity. That's not correct. But do you know what it's from? My back.
Oscar Wilde.
No. Shakespeare. Go for the butterflies. Go for it. I know you can do it.
Butterflies.
No.
Goddamn.
There's a butterfly in there, but that's not how it starts. We will all.
Laugh at the butterflies with gilded wings.
So close.
I can
We
tell
will
this
all
man
laugh
has
at gilded
never
butterflies.
paid
It's from
attention to
King
what that
Lear by
tattoo says.
Shakespeare.
He's
Okay,
just
so
What
like,
does the
that means.
Nietzsche quote on my ribs say?
We aren't doing AP literature class right now. That is for sure not happening.
Okay, you get, because you were close on the number, I'll give you 1/2 of a point for that, but that was rough. What's something on my bucket list?
Be abducted by
Be
a
abducted,
UFO.
but go back home. She wants to go home.
I'll give you
Bitch
2
is
points for
homesick.
that. 2 points. What was my first acting role?
Oh, Mary-Kate and Ashley.
I
Oh,
think,
the soap opera that you won't let me watch.
if I swear to God, if you play clips from that.
Play clips!
Oh,
Correct.
such a frat boy.
I'll give you a point for that.
don't have to watch
Okay,
too much more
what
of
is my biggest pet peeve?
When I eat and I'm talking to you in your ear.
I don't think it has to be related to you
my God, could
specifically,
you
like just what's my
imagine?
biggest
Yeah,
pet
but
peeve.
that, but
The
that,
sound of
that type
chewing.
the sound of chewing. though.
Yeah, there's a name for that. I have that. What was my favorite movie as a kid?
It's really hard to decipher when like we still watch kid movies all the time. Hook, You Stand By.
Okay, I'll give you a point for
Yeah.
that. What's my favorite movie now? And if you don't know this, I'm gonna be very upset at you. What's my favorite movie now? I can't wait for it to get cold, and I'm gonna make
Yeah, oh,
popcorn and hot
no.
chocolate.
You don't have to go there. It's like an 8-series piece. We're talking
Yeah,
about
but which
Harry
one?
Mother Potter.
Yes.
Don't think that
little
I'm not
fucking
Which one is my
handshake
favorite?
that
Obviously,
they
Prisoners
do.
of Azkaban.
Honestly, like, that's the thing. Okay, the thing I think I figured out about MGK and Megan Fox is that, first of all, this is just rich people shit. All of this is just rich people shit. But at the end of the day, they are not afraid to be cringe. like they, I feel like they embrace the cringe, which is what I was getting at with that like comment that she made at the end of her post there, and with that fucking handshake. Dude. Maybe that's what love is. Maybe love is just like a cool handshake and not being afraid to be cringy in public. Like that is like probably my number one one of my number one problems. Like, I'm so weird when it comes to like my own PDA in a relationship grosses me the fuck out. If you relate to that, like, comment, subscribe. I have to say that one time during the video. But no, like, it's like, I literally, like, dating me is literally like, we are buddies until it's time to have sex. And then, you know, you could be all cutesy and compliment me or whatever. But, like, other than that, I'm literally just like, bro. Bro. What's a handshake would really help, bridge that gap for me in everyday life and everyday conversation. But that's always been something for me that's weird. Like, I get cringed out by my own PDA in public. Like, the most I like to do is, like, I will, like, peck my boyfriend on the lips and say I love you so everyone knows that that's my man. But other than that, I'm not making out. I don't want anyone touching my butt. Like, there's dudes that literally will, like, I've seen it at comedy shows, like, in the crowd, where they're literally, like, cuddling their girlfriends from behind and, like, grabbing their tits and stuff. And I'm like, dude, how do you go to bed tonight? How do you get up to go to the bathroom in a couple minutes when you were just doing, like, I don't know. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe I should see that as more of a problem, that public intimacy grosses me out. But I think it grosses everybody out. So stop doing it. Since we can't end Live Nation, let's end PDA in 2022. It's gross. And COVID. I was gonna talk about Cheer from fucking Netflix. I don't really want to talk about it. I guess I'll just touch on it. I was just watching it the other night. The new fucking season's out. If you're not familiar with what Cheer is, it is a Netflix docuseries that they're doing on Navarro College, which is a very small college with a very good cheer team. I believe it's down in Texas, Navarro, Texas. That sounds about right. But they released a second season for it. That's basically the show is filming practice, gearing up for the main event of the year for, these small college cheer teams, which is the Daytona 500 Daytona weekend. Cheerleaders actually drive NASCARs, if you guys didn't know. But no, so there's a character on Cheer that used to do all-star cheerleading, which is a totally separate thing. If you guys want me to go into the logistics of how cheerleading works, I can, but it's very catty and stupid, so I'll just explain the difference. College cheer is different from all-star cheer. Very similar, but different. All-star cheerleading is pay to play. So you pay a private gym to train your child, and then you pay comp fees, and you pay uniform fees and all of that stuff. So that's what I did. And then college cheerleading, they pull athletes from all-star cheerleading, but they also pull athletes from high school competitive cheerleading. If your high school has a good competitive cheer team, you can, get a college scholarship cheering that way as well. But one of the biggest ones that's had the biggest boom in the country is all-star cheerleading. And I was on a team for about 5 years, I believe, when I was in high school. And we competed all over the United States, but a lot in the tri-state area. And there was this team called ICE, right? I think they were Indiana ICE. And there was this guy on the team. His name was Jerry. And we always remembered him because he had great dancing and blah, 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 whatever. We would kind of buddies with this team, I guess, when we would see them at competitions. And then I start watching the first season of Cheer, and I noticed that fucking Jerry from Indiana ICE is on the Navarro cheer team. So I'm, like, super invested in the first season, right? And first season comes and goes. He kind of becomes this, like, pseudo-celebrity from it. He's, like, getting on Ellen and, like, getting recognized in public and all of this shit. And next thing you know, dude's getting charged with my God, what even is it? Let me just look it up real quick. Jerry from Cheer, I'm pretty sure he was Snapchatting with a underage boy. Yeah. Handled sexual assault allegations against them. And so this second season comes out, and I'm thinking, all right, they're gonna, dive into this more. I haven't really been able to get a full story, I guess, or hear from any of these people on it. And they literally just showed a couple of articles in the first episode, and then they just continue on with the rest of the season with Jerry in it. Like, it's okay now. We're just going to skate past that and be like, up top, this guy's a bad dude, but we're also going to make him a main focus of the second season because he was such a main personality to come out of the first season. So you can tell that they started filming the second season before they had this information. So I don't necessarily blame them, but at the same time, I'm like, unfortunately, I don't think he should get screen time. It's a weird topic. But I don't think he should get screen time. I don't think that he should have the opportunity to, you know, make any sort of money, any sort of revenue off of that because of what he did with his fame the first time. So, fuck you, Jerry. I remember you. You do not remember me, but I remember you. So that's fun. Kind of my leave me alone moment for the week, you know? I was just like, I saw that, I was just like, fuck this shit, you know? But no, we get to the leave me alone moment of the week now, which is I was at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in Royal Oak, Michigan, with some friends doing the Comedy Rumble. I'm gonna find a way to mention the Comedy Rumble every fucking episode, even if it's not coming up. But I was there last Tuesday for Comedy Rumble, and we stopped at a liquor store after the show was over to get some of these bad boys. They're not sponsored, but I hope they will. Breeze, hit me up. But so we stopped at this little liquor store to grab a Breeze. And it was kind of like a weird hole in the wall place, but they had them. The guy was super nice. Instantly started chatting me up, right? The guy behind the counter was like, "Where are you coming from? Blah, blah, blah. You having a good night?" All this stuff. But was easy to talk to. And I immediately fell for it, right? Thank God I had brought 2 of my friends there with me. But I was just dealing with the vape situation. I didn't go in the back to get drinks or anything like that. But I guess when my friends went to the back, they noticed some sketchy dudes kind of standing around. And then when they got up to the front, they noticed a man that was, you know, kind of stalking it out in the corner. And so it just kind of pissed me off because, as a woman, I mean, obviously that would have been a bad situation if it was me by myself. But as a woman, I just feel pissed off when things like that happen. It reminds me of getting put in the fuck zone. I know it's not the same thing at all, but just because I felt like I was having a nice conversation with that man. And then when I looked back on it, in retrospect, right? When I looked back on it when we were driving away from that situation, I had bought a Breeze, and I had to give him my ID for the Breeze. And then after I'd already made that transaction, he was chatting me up so much that I forgot that I needed a lighter. So I was like, "Oh, I need a lighter as well. Could I get one of those real quick?" And he's like, I have to see your ID again. And I thought it was weird, but whatever, right? So I give him my ID. He looks at it and then to himself says Williamston, which is the city I live in. So yeah, it just kind of pissed me off because it's annoying to realize that you weren't having the experience you thought you were having and that somebody else was having a completely different one. It just is annoying to feel the manipulation and recognize that that's what it was and that you could have been in a bad situation. And it's just frustrating because I was just trying to curb a nicotine addiction, you know, not get kidnapped. That's the other thing. I didn't feel like I was going to get mugged. I definitely felt like I was going to get kidnapped. So leave me alone when I'm at the gas station. Now I'm literally if a gas station attendant talks to me, I'm triggered. I'm done. I'm fucking done. Are you guys ready for the TikToks of the week? Both of them are bathroom humor. And if you are not a fan of bathroom humor, I'm going to ask you to unsubscribe because we are pissing and shitting and farting and burping every day here. This is a lady-run podcast, but we are having bowel movements, all right? And we're laughing about it. So, my first TikTok of the week. I have 2. We did have some submissions, so thank you so much for sending those in. If you want to send in a TikTok for TikTok of the week, you can follow my TikTok and just inbox them to me at Alaina Banfield Comedy, or you can send them to me at Gmail, at alainabanfieldcomedy@gmail.com, and I will take a look at them, and if it makes me exhale air throughout my nose, then I will put it on the docket for TikTok of the week, and we'll watch it on the podcast together. So, so we had a couple. I am going to go ahead and do the first one. This is my pick for TikTok of the week. And you might have seen it. Here we go.
What the fuck are you doing? Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's so embarrassing. I thought you were my friend. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I love that one because that is 100% some shit that I would do. Oh my God, I'm totally gonna expose myself. This reminds me, I was doing a show. It doesn't matter where because I don't want anyone to know where this happened at. But COVID. I was doing a show, and I was going to the bathroom. I was doing my preset shit, and because it was like an actual set that I was doing, not just like an open mic or whatever. So I was doing my nervous poops, and when I went to wipe, I found out that there was no toilet paper. But you know what? No problem, because nobody's in this fucking bathroom with me. So I'm just gonna, kind of squat up from the toilet seat, hold my pants, and just like real quickly, like fucking hobble into the other stall. And so I went to go do that, and I'm so far so good. I'm outside of the stall, quickly, taking the 1 or 2 steps that it takes for me to get to that other door. And as I turn the door, like my front half of the body is like in, it's literally just ass out. And I hear the door open, and some lady went, "Oh!" And I was like sliding in, so it was fine. It was real quick. She just got a glimpse of it. But I just think about this makes me think about a stranger seeing my maybe dirty ass before I went on stage. Fuck. Oh my God, I might have to cut that out. No, keep it. It's fine. Okay. And then the second one. So the second one is the second one was sent in by Starla, who is a local comedy fan. She supports the fuck out of the scene. Like honestly, we probably couldn't do it without her. She comes to a lot of Salsa Parlor stuff. She comes to Ozone. She comes to Ellison. She listens to the pod clearly because she sent me in a fucking TikTok of the week. And so I went with hers because it was amazing, which I'm not surprised because she, consumes a lot of comedy, so she has good taste. But I think that more people should definitely be like Starla, because she's so supportive. It's so nice to see her at shows, and I don't know if she ever has done comedy or what the deal is, or if she literally just is a comedy fan. But I've seen her around since I started, so thank you, Starla, for sending this in. If more people could be like you, that'd be dope. Just remember that all of your favorite comedians that you watch on Netflix or Hulu or Comedy Central, all of those people started off as somebody's favorite local open micer. So that's exciting. Get out to your local open mics and pick your favorite. Follow them. Figure out, what they do over the years. It could be nothing. A lot of us do nothing. But let's watch this one. I relate heavily to this, so.
Persons having currently active diarrhea or who have had active diarrhea within the previous 14 days shall not be allowed to enter the pool water. 14 days? Who goes 2 weeks without having diarrhea?
So I love that one because, yeah, obviously, if you've been listening to this podcast for a long time, then you've heard the episode Skinny Girls Take the Fattest Shits, which is pretty much just an episode where I just talk about hemorrhoids and lactose intolerance and what it takes to maintain this figure. And so that's what that reminds me of because, yeah, I have never... If we're going off those rules, dude, I'm never allowed in a pool ever. I have diarrhea at least once a week, if not twice. Like I had a COVID scare, and I work in a restaurant, and I literally like was talking to my boss about it, and I was like, I feel fine, it was like I don't even know if you could call it an exposure or whatever. And he's like, all right, well, do you have a fever? I'm like, no. And he's like, are you having diarrhea? And I literally answered, I was like, if I wasn't, I would be worried. Like. For real. Like, I have fucking dietary limitations that I ignore on the daily. Like, I can't stop eating cheese until I stop smoking weed. And so I don't know when that's going to happen. I'm like, we're just gonna have to keep popping suppositories in, and that's a hard one. That's a hard one. If you're talking about lactose intolerance and like bowel issues in your 20s, like I've always got shit on me, but when I don't, it's embarrassing. Like if you're a woman, you can relate to like having to walk up to a stranger in public and ask if they have a tampon on them. But have you ever scoped out like the like most unhealthiest looking middle-aged man you can find to ask him if he has a suppository? And they always say no. You have to ask twice. You have to be like, "Come on, dude, I know that this isn't a joke." Like I need one. I did that one time and it was an old lady and she actually did have one. But enough about my fucking hemorrhoids. Let's get into the outros here. So I kind of have stuff coming up in February. My dog is getting her ACL surgery, so I'm kind of taking it easy, just taking paid shows and working as much as I can. But I wouldn't dare do a paid show without doing an open mic first. So I will be doing stuff locally. You can go to my LINKTREE at Alaina Bamfield on Instagram. The link is in my bio. If you want to check out the show dates, I will be having, by the time this podcast drops, I'll have all of my February shows updated on my LINKTREE so you guys can see where I'm going to do tried and true material and where I'm going to do the new stuff. So if you want to see the new stuff, those are mostly free shows, and all the stuff that, you know, is actual material will be paid shows. So that's my goal, is to do as much new shit as I can and just kind of keep adding to my set list so that I can progress as a comedian or whatever the fuck. But I do have a couple of shows in the beginning of February, so I might as well plug those right now. So I will be in Portage, Michigan at the Presidential Brewing Company for the Demented Peach Caucuses comedy competition. So that's the second round. I finished first in the first round, so hopefully we can keep that trend going in the second round. And I'm imagining there's a third round coming up. I don't know. Maybe some money to be won. Comedy competitions are not something I signed myself up for. But I have been asked to do a couple. Like, I get asked to do Comedy Rumble every once in a while. And I did get asked to do this Demented Peach one. So when I'm asked, I do them. They're a lot of fun. But I'm not a person that, I don't have a big group of people that I can get to truck out to places with me quite yet. So just comedy competitions are hard, because unless you are undeniable, that crowd is going to vote for who they came for. So maybe come out. I don't fucking know. Link in my bio. But then on February 8th, I will be doing a Galentine's Day show at the Beer Grotto in Dexter. That is Greg Sharp's show, and it's the Comedy Experiment. And I kind of stray away from doing all-female lineups, not because they're all-female lineups, but because they tend to have titles like Galentine's Day or Ladies' Night or whatever. And it's just like it's like an ick thing for me, I guess, where I'm just like, ugh, like, don't tell them it's gonna be all ladies. I don't know. But I saw the lineup for this, and I was like, I fucking gotta be on it. Like, there are some killers on this lineup. I will have the link to that inside of my LINKTREE as well as posting that on my Instagram. So that'll be a really fun show to come out to. And I've done that show a couple of times, and every single time I go there, the crowd is ready for comedy, which you don't expect it's literally such a small, like, creepily quaint town Dexter is. Like, it looks like a movie set everywhere you go. So you don't expect the crowd to be as there for it as they are. So shout out to Greg Sharp. He runs a great room. If you're a comedian looking for stage time, it's a great place to go, and it's worth the fucking drive. So highly recommend it. The last show I want to promote is Valentine's Day, the actual day, Valentine's Day, February 14th. I will be at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle performing with a great group of friends, and I do have the lineup for you guys right now. So the MC is going to be Nick Tenaglia, who was a former guest on this podcast. Actually, a lot of these people are... Actually, just kidding. 3 of these people are former guests on this podcast. But Nick Tenaglia is going to be hosting it. Alaina Bamfield, Brett Hayden, former guest, Noah Chapp, who is a very funny Detroit comedian, Samantha Rager, who I would love to have on this podcast. Listen to her album Trigger Warning on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever the fuck you get your shit at. Carl Johnson, former podcast guest. Ella Horwedel, very, very funny comedian, recently performed at Skankfest, so fuck you. Not Ella, fuck everyone else listening because you're not Ella. And Cam Rowe, who I have seen a handful of times and is always a delight to see. So that is a 7:30 show, $10 tickets, and the link is inside of my bio. I think that's kind of all I got for you guys. Again, my Instagram is @AlainaBamfield. Like this video, subscribe, comment, interact with it maybe. I don't really give a shit. Fucking take up indoor rock climbing. Make a cool handshake with your partner. I don't know. See ya. See ya. Bye. See you next week. Love you, idiots.
And then went out of their way to ask when the next one was coming out. And I was like, and Baby doesn't just let you use their restroom for free. You have to buy something. That's misleading. I need to stop doing that. You should get your head checked out because this shit is not funny.